best heroes for that. So I think obviously in the interview where he said that they respect a lot their laning and how much they're willing to push these lanes, and Marcy is one of the best heroes for that. So I think obviously Tundra would have been happy with the Mirana first phase, but they're like, yeah, we're gonna take the Marcy away.
I feel it's almost a shame. Like we saw the Monkey versus the Broodmother in one of the games. Like they completely annihilated like the laning phase in that game. I think it was all 3 lanes that were going super well for them. And I want to say they could have done the same, you know, like don't waste a ban on the Broodmother, get your Dawnbreaker, stay within your comfort, like get the Monkey. I mean, the Monkey's banned, so it might have something to do with it.
So we're back to the Tundra system, you know, you're gonna have, you have to see how it's gonna develop. This Visage is gonna buy Wraith back, he's gonna take the tier 1 tower, he's gonna live in Secret jungle, and the Marcy plus the 9 hero and the other support are gonna be missing. They're gonna be in the fog of war, and they're gonna make Secret, you know, think twice about shoving this Visage away from his area. And on the other side of the map, you're gonna have Skitter doing the same thing with a Wraith King, or, you know, he probably would have loved the Naga, now Naga's out. And I really want Secret to try to target these heroes that can achieve that map dominance and force him into a more casual Ursa game, or, you know, these heroes that really cannot apply as much pressure on the map.
And also the Visage, I mean, that was the one they lost to, right? I also think it's now Tundra 1 game up. And it's the Mirana ban.
It's quite interesting, I think, the Nyx ban, because we haven't mentioned it in game 1, but Tundra lost to Secret where they had Nyx. And Nyx is one of the better heroes at disrupting map movement, right? At finding information himself or finding pickoffs and getting. And you know, Tundra came into this grand final saying, you know what, actually this Nyx is more annoying than the king of your heroes that has been Leshrac so far. Yeah. So it kind of says a lot about what's going on, you know, Dota-wise.
I like that point a lot, too, because a lot of times you can see the Nyx and it's like, oh, he has, like, Carapace is excellent this game, there's all this, but it's actually the scouting, right? It's actually so much about getting the information.
Finding out if Neta's alone or if Skitter's alone, and, like, being able to just get that quick pickoff.
And now we see, like, even like the Beastmaster ban, right? A similar thing that you're talking about. It's controlling the map, trying to read things. So really interesting bans coming out from Tundra.
I like the Secret bans much more this time around, the second phase. You know, like the first phase is something else, but they're committing to a certain strategy. But the Naga's out, the Mirana's out. The amount of map tools that they get are getting very, very limited already, much more than in game 1.
I want to see the Dawnbreaker come out for Secret. I mean, I think that would be a really strong pick. It can crush the Visage.
If you look at what Secret did there was a game when they had this next Dawnbreaker silencer, and I felt like it gives them really strong lanes, so they can kind of beat Tundra at that game. And if they transition into the mid game, they have these global tools that even if Tundra kind of pulls off this outmaneuvering on the map, you have these global tools that are gonna allow you to, you know, even it out. You get the global silence, you get the Dawnbreaker ulti, and I thought it was an interesting approach. Definitely heroes I would like to see Secret look at.
And we also get Secret as second pick for the. I mean, they won't get the choice in game 3 and in game 5, but now we're going to be able to see how strong the second pick is going to be for them. I think the flex pick, again, from the Dawn, or finding a hero that can, you know, add this global presence, break this map, but still remain, like, have some things remain flex, like the Leshrac Resolution can play it, and they can keep this till the end. But yeah, I think the second phase bans this time around much better from Secret.
I like the Luna. That was when I was.
Exactly.
Like
I think this is thought through. I think the Mirana also, they would have gone for it for snaking. I think the Naga is a must ban for the rest of the series in second phase, unless they come up with the ultimate way to deal with it.
Yeah, Luna Visage, very strong combo. I mean, we've played Tundra in TI10 qualifiers, and they were doing this Luna Manta night vision abuse. So it's definitely a hero that they can use a little bit like a Naga. You know, constantly sending the Manta illusions, shoving the waves, sending them also to scout, because Skitter is one of the players that not only farms with Manta, he actually uses it as a scouting tool to increase his map presence.
And as we were talking about with the Naga, like how he was using the illusions instead of just going camp to camp to camp. He's cutting the wave, even though it's not efficient. He's getting a little bit more info, especially during nighttime. I mean, they had full vision the whole night.
Sometimes even just suiciding illusions, just literally to get any type of information.
And, you know, theoretically, there are 2 ways to deal with Tundra's, like, kind of split push style. The CK is one of the heroes that they really enjoy doing that with. Okay, they go for the Phoenix into Chen. It's a great Phoenix game.
When do they play the Phoenix? I want to say it's only with Visage they've played it.
I think I only saw them play it once, if even that. I don't even know if I saw them play it here.
They played it. I've seen Snaking play Phoenix once this tournament, I want to say. I'm pretty sure.
So basically, I think Secret, you have 2 approaches. When you play against this split push heavy kind of style, you either match what they want to do, or you know, group up and ball up and try to force them into a 5 versus 5 fight at a pace that they don't really want to get into. And I feel like Chen Lesh is a perfect lineup to push the issue before Tundra kind of gets online with their heroes. You know, think about the Leshrac Bloodstone and the mech timing. It's going to be very close. These heroes play together really well. Chen is going to bring a ton of armor and a ton of buffs on this Leshrac that are going to kind of help him live through the Tundra burst. And maybe they can just snowball the game, because usually Tundra don't really look at these early timings, and they hope that they get to, you know, get away with their map stuff like they did game 1.
If you force this Visage and the CK to fight before they get the shard on Visage and the BKB on CK, they might just run into, you know, a Leshrac can easily solo kill them. The Phoenix pick, I thought he played this tournament, but I don't see it. I think this is his first Phoenix so far at TI, and it's a classic hero versus Tusk, it's a classic hero versus Chen, and it's super good with the Visage. So I mean, we've seen him play it before. I think it's very cool to see something, you know, be busted out of the finals. It also makes a statement.
We're seeing a very different approach from Secret this game.
Very different.
Remember Chen Bristol back? Remember some Chen Bristol?
Yep.
At TI9?
Yep. I think this is a statement. It's like, you know what, this map stuff that you're forcing us to deal with, you're gonna have to play our game now. And it's gonna be a game of Leshrac, Chen, Bristol grouping up, going for early objectives, maybe even going high ground early. And it's like, have you thought about that happening to you?
You think Kuro's watching?
Hopefully he is.
I think inner Kuro right now is like push the base, push the base.
It lets them set the tempo even better, because last game they kind of wanted to, but their heroes didn't have to, especially after lanes, like things just crumbled. This one, it's, like you mentioned. They're going to be able to force them into Roche, force them to fight around towers.
Counter the Visage as well, Bristol back, like both on the lane, but also in the game. I also think he doesn't care at all, the CK and the Phoenix early on. I mean, later on it starts changing a bit. I really like Secret's approach so far.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I feel like, Dota theory-wise, they have a much better shot this game than the last one, in my opinion. And I feel like there's a lot of pressure on the 9 hero, because he needs to be the one buying time for House Kidder.
He doesn't get last
33 pick. And he doesn't get last pick.
10 seconds.
He needs to enable his side laners this game.
So do you pick against the Lesh, or do you pick...
5 seconds.
Yeah, you actually don't know.
You don't know.
Playing Lesh. This
It could be Tusk Lesh. It's easy setup. I think it's quite laneable into the CK Phoenix, if it's going to be CK Phoenix, which I think it will be.
It's tricky. It's very tricky, actually.
Tundra's tended to not really prioritize, like, you know, counteracting like that matchup though, right? Like we've seen like Liquid's approach to Lesh, they pick like the lean a lot of times. 9 usually just sticks with his style.
Well,
so.
but still, 9 has his counter picks. Like when he saw Secret pick Pangolier, he went for Lizard Man, I forget the name.
Primal Beast.
Primal Beast. And I think he will take his opportunity to counter pick when he can. Like he really wants, you know, when he saw the Lesh before, they picked the Tusk, knowing that most likely I can get this matchup, and that's the one he likes, you know. So now he has to pick blind, and I think Nisha might have an opening to really punish if he chooses.
Let's see what he's going to look at. I mean, we are getting a Puppy Chen in TI finals, which I think is very exciting, by the way. Like, I love it when both teams are getting their bread and butter, you know, because this is where you're going to get kind of the finest Dota out there.
Played Dota for 20 years, and you just pick your favorite hero, you know, the one you want to play.
Puppy Chen in TI finals. What else do you want to watch, you know?
That's what he also picked the Chen out. How many times versus Alliance?
Probably many times, yeah.
I mean, there was, I'm trying to remember the drafts for all 5 games.
10 years later, back at it. And what do they go for? Arc Warden. Okay, that is
very
interesting.
That's quite the pick.
Yeah.
Quite different.
But look, I think Nisha is going to find something, don't you? I don't think he's going to accept the Leshrac mid versus this. No. I think he's going to choose a hero versus the Arc Warden. What's left? I mean, Pangolier is out, Batrider got banned, so they were already setting up for it. Is this 9's first arc?
Arc Warden is very nice with the Tundra's heroes. It's very nice with their playstyle. It plays a lot like a Naga. It's a hero that's hard to deal with, that can open areas safely, get information. You know, it's an amazing pick for Tundra's lineup. It's good against Lash, but I feel like Secret's lineup is one of the lineup that can make an arc very scary, right? Like very scared, I mean.
But this is not a typical 9 hero, like whatsoever. Like maybe it's similar a bit to the OD, who doesn't rotate very much, but almost every 9 hero likes to rotate. Like there's Zeus and there's some other ones. Okay, Morphling. Yeah, here we go.
Morphling mid most likely into the arc. Probably expected it to be a pretty good matchup. There it is, and it's going to be a Rezo Leshrac. And they're just kind of sacking this Leshrac a little bit. And because, it's a rough matchup. Leshrac mid against Arc is not fun by any means.
But last time he played it, he ended up with Blink, Bloodstone, Hex very early on in the game. And I think if he gets the same type of snowball or same type of game, I think it's going to look incredible. You close the gap versus the Arc. You don't care about the Visage. Like you can also.
因为他们在近期的淘汰赛，就这本次赛事当中没有拿电狗这个英雄，但是电狗的话，这把
Ways to force team fights, it looks pretty strong.
I mean, I've said it before, also in last game. I think they do want to keep the ball rolling, Secret, and if they don't, Hunter's going to run away with it again, and they're going to get to play the map, and it's going to be a very painful. Yeah, I mean.
like a Lesha, like a Chen.
Thank you very much, Seb. Over to Slacks now.
Prepare for battle.
You again?
Voila.
"30 seconds to battle."
We're a little bit better because that game one, it was a rough one. Tundra coming out all guns blazing and being able to take that first against Secret. I mean, overall, we did hear, of course, towards the end of the game, Secret, they were able to keep spirits high. We had a lot of positivity from the comms. Sure. Exactly what you need right after, towards the end of a very rough start to the Grand Finals fall.
Yeah, and I like the, the big pivot that they made this game. Rather than looking to chase heroes around, looking to try to catch Tundra, which has seemed to be one of the biggest problems for most teams this tournament, they're the ones who is going to be forcing the issue and forcing Tundra to kind of react to them. So let's see if that works. We see right away, Tundra, they go for this level 1 smoke play. Incredibly strong level 1 with the Marcy, with the CK stun to chase heroes. But we see the Secret prepared. They had this early ward placed on top of their outpost to see immediately when smoke broke. Prepared for that early game.
We'll see how well, Secret can deal with some of the more different heroes that Tundra are bringing into the fray this time. Eyes are going to be on 9, see how much he can do.
Oh, that is annoying.
He's going to be able to get a bit of damage down to Chrysalis as he tries to get towards his lane.
He knows he has no risk. He's playing versus Chen in the lane, so you can easily go for these type of pressure plays, give 33 that first few creeps advantage.
I mean, and so this mid matchup as well. We're seeing two sort of greedy heroes here that have potential to really become the carries for both teams. The Morphling versus the Arc Ward. And anything exciting to come out of the laning stage? Is it just going to be a trade in farm, or do one of these heroes have to be more careful than the other in this matchup?
Probably a trade in farm, maybe 9 slightly ahead if anything, but no, I'd say mostly just a trade. We've seen Nisha and just Morphlings in general. With the new skill build that you can go, you only have to put 2 points in attribute shift. You're able to prioritize having more points in adaptive and waveform. You're able to secure CS constantly, so I'd imagine Nisha does do just fine. Looking at top, this is probably the more exciting lane, I would imagine, to look at. The shards, the stun, flash, constant kill threats onto the Phoenix, maybe even onto CK.
Bottom lane. Those sprays are stacking up, but the damage from Saxon 33 is enough to burst through Chrysalis and take him out. Actually, he's going to even give a bit of a chase down onto Puppey.
He might go down too.
Finish him off as well. Saxon will be ready to dive in under the tower. It's the lane starting off with a double kill for 33. That's not something you want to see if you're Secret.
This is the Tundra offlane special, right? I mean, this is always what they do. Somehow they're able to just always know how to apply so much pressure. And with this death, Soxa comes back, 6 tangos, a salve, 33. You see the items. They do this almost every time on the Visage. Tries to start with no regen, just tries to get mangoes and stats. So they can just keep doing this. I mean, Chrysalis
so much damage. He comes back into the lane and he's pretty much immediately down to a third of his HP. Top lane as well, we're seeing Resolution. He's getting zoned back, Snaking able to take down Zayt's courier. The shard's down, but dives at the ready.
The first few levels are incredibly oppressive from this Marcy and Visage. This is one of their bread and butters. Puppey will start to attempt some stabilization with the lane, get the pullback. See what creeps he's able to get to kind of dissuade this damage that's going to be coming out. He gets a pretty good one. It's a good one to at least harass them back, kind of stop their aggression.
See how soon they're able to get to a point where Chrysalis is feel a bit more confident to step up to the creep waves. It's not easy. Off to the side, Saxa. He's going to go to look to take down the creep.
They know how strong that creep can be. Good choice to kind of go for it there. And this is a great lane for the Visage, where it's like, yeah, the Bristle, as the panel, as Seb and Noto were talking about, you do counter this hero in a way as the game progresses, and even in lane sometimes, but Also, you have infinite mana, right? Visage is just always able to just bash out those spells constantly onto Crystallis' Bristle.
See there. Puppey quite able to take the small camp back before the respawn. Saxa ensure that the ever more tougher and tougher for Secret to gain momentum and control of the creep waves down in this bottom lane. 33 is able to hold it in a fantastic position.
Good position and tons of regen, so they can always go for this. He's just kind of baiting them a little bit if they did try to commit. So far, looking at the mid lane, yeah, Nisha, he's doing just fine. He's actually gone 3-1-1 skill build. Okay.
Dire's middle
Not really feeling like he needs to go for any
attack.
attribute shift at all versus an Arc Warden, only that 1 point.
On this bottom lane, Puppey in particular has to be very careful. I mean, Crystallis as well, honestly. With the sidekick, with the rebound, Quill Sprays are stacking up,
Good
but Tundra, at this stage, with the lead that they've already managed to get against the Bristle, it very much seems that Marcy and Visage, they can kill that Bristle before the Quill Sprays become too much and he starts killing them. They know exactly when to push it, and they know that they can get away with it.
It's just like last time, right? When they have this Tide plus this Hoodwink versus that Pudge. This time it's Visage with Marcy. Heavy physical damage, Blades of Attack again. 33, same build he's gonna go as last time. Not the phase boots, but of course just Wraith Pact, high damage.
I mean, how do you sort of recover from the state of this bottom lane? And it feels like one more death from Crystallis down here, and it's going to be very, very difficult to bring this lane back in Secret's favor.
I like that he bought the raindrop. I think that's a good, at least, attempt to be able to, you can get a trade kill probably with those quills that we saw Saxa upload. Just any type of small stats, any type of small survivability will help. His ring still sitting behind the tower. He actually hasn't brought it out to himself. He will in a second.
I think the scary thing as well, of course, is from Saxa, you know, having a good start down bottom with the levels that he's going to getting in on him. You know, the other lanes, they've got to be prepared as well, right? The perfect hero Marcy to have high impact at any part of the map that happens around these tier 1 towers early. They've got to be prepared for Saxa to turn up and turn things around, just like he was doing in game 1 as in Husband. Bottom lane, another jump over towards Puppey. It's Puppey and Crystallis trying to stand their ground, but Puppey goes down. Crystallis might have a chance to chase Saxa out this time, as Saxa, has he got any further options of getting away? He doesn't, so Crystallis finally finding a bit of action going in his direction.
Honestly, maybe that's the way you have to do it. Just Puppey has to sacrifice himself. He has to be the one to just soak those soul assumptions for Bristleback to just get this type of trade, because otherwise, yeah, definitely seeing a bit of problems. But Crystallis, once he has Vanguard, he'll be able to at least stay down here a lot easier, and he's getting pretty close to it.
As we can see, you know, despite sort of the deaths that have occurred down on that bottom lane, Crystallis is pretty much keeping it straight even with the farm that Skeeter, you know, carrying for Tundra on the other side. The map is getting as well.
Yeah, and pretty much Vanguard is going to be done, so should be a lot safer. And Puppey, he's going to start getting some levels, so he's going to be able to actually protect Crystallis. We see him grab some magic resistance and also just a little bit of extra damage. So that actually will help a lot. That little bit of Cloak Aura is going to come out. Could protect Crystallis enough.
I'll see what
Let's see.
See if Saxa and 33 can get away with this, but now with the levels, indeed, at this stage, it very much feels like it's not going to be nearly as easy as it was for Tundra in the early minutes of this lane to take down the Bristle. Crystallis, as there's been a few deaths here and there, he's got through the rough bit of the lane stage.
But Visage level 6 already. That is pretty massive for 33, having it this early on. The Vlads is going to be on too.
The side. Caught him in the shards. Nisha, he'll look to step over and finish off the kill. He'll get it. Zayas should go down into the Spark Wraith. So both mids able to take a kill out of this one. 33, he's turned up with the Familiars, ready to chase out Nisha. Nisha's got a fair few one charges. Can he find a touch away for backup? He can't. The burst is there from 9. It ends up being a double kill for the mid-Arc Warden.
And they do punish him for having level 1 attribute shift, right? Maxing a waveform, having 2 points in the adaptive. You do see that they're actually able to get that damage come out. And all that is because 33 hits the 6 so fast down bottom.
He's able to come in, and of course the timings that are enabled off the back of that is pretty huge already. The completed Midas out onto 9. Wow. He's able to get this, you know, started very, very early on.
Beautiful.
As he's going to be making the money. There's every reason to believe that unless Secret can make any He moves to find this Arc Warden. 9, he's going to start shooting far, far ahead of anyone else in this game with regards to the farm he'll get.
It feels like it could get to these points where maybe the CK pick is kind of this distraction, you know, and this Arc Warden, he's going to try to transition hard into that real carry for his team. Other good thing about the double Midas, as we saw there, you automatically get 2 neutral items. It's actually very nice when you're able to get it this early on onto 9.
Are those cracks in Dire's top tower?
And now they're actually, so look at this, bit of a dynamic change. Yep. They're going to put the Visage mid, have him match up versus that Morphling, and they're going to send the Arc Warden for the time being down bottom.
See top lane. Trying to go for snaking. They do connect with the stun.
Nice
the
play.
Secret get in and take him down, and will in fact see Tundra sort of bail out from this top lane. Give a chance for Secret to put some pressure on. Likely with the TPs out, probably not going to be an area of the map that Tundra will look to hold on to. I mean, we did see this, of course, last time round as well, right? Game 1, 9 minutes in, Secret, they get this good timing on the tier 1. Snaking will turn back up. If he's able to do anything on his own, he has to be very cautious. Secret still with 3 members around, looking to pressure on this top lane. So
he's just soaking, it looks like. Just trying to soak up any of that bit of experience.
But the fact that this has happened twice now, it very much seems that, you know, Tundra as a team, they sort of make the call to just not put any resources into holding that tower. Just let it go.
They tend to be, you know, that extremely efficient team, as we hear lots of players talk about. Very frustrating to play versus Tundra because they know how to dodge these plays, dodge this aggression, try to make as little mistakes as possible. Another neutral item, of course. And yeah, giving Soxon now some levels too. So distributing that wealth, top 2 net worth, and the CK Skeeter. He jungles just fine. He's going to be able to keep his pace up and probably look to do what he was doing anyway last time, is still look to connect top, use Phantasm just to farm, kind of acting as this pseudo Naga Siren.
Of course, last game, very much saw that Secret, they never really found that chance to sort of get Crystallis involved. Top lane snaking, out with the dive, doesn't matter. Nisha has got those final few right clicks chasing him down. We'll get the kill, so things looking good here for Nisha, and despite the quick Midas timing on 9, Nisha very much close behind him in farm.
And he's got this matchup always as we see Sucks, so they actually get on him.
He's got anything to rebound out towards? He doesn't. Secret, they hold him in the river. Able to bring it up even now, 6-6. Secret definitely doing a bit of a better job this time round at responding to some of these movements that Tundra's making around the map.
And playing around Nisha, right? With the skill build that he has so much burst potential. He actually has the gap closing potential as well too versus most of these heroes that can sometimes be a bit annoying to get on top of, so far.
I'm going to try and make moves. It's not even needed there. Tundra, they make the sort of calm response to not react with TPs, knowing that Skeeter's just able to walk that one off.
But with that slight moment of like space at all, you see Puppey rotate toward mid. This is how they want to be playing. They want to be the ones who are dictating that pace, dictating this tower aggression. We'll be able to claim this one early. Nisha, he's almost got his Dragon Lance also finished up, so very farmed so far on Secret. And they're also, in the meantime, I saw they are starting to stack Ancients a little bit too, so making sure they do have that condition for the Bristleback to continue getting that increase.
Got it.
Or Secret though, infinitely better than that last game.
He's certainly feeling a bit more solid, but I imagine to a sort of a point with regards to the drafts, this is sort of expected, right? This time around, Secret, they gave themselves a bit of a better shot of having this sort of earlier hold, earlier pressure that they're able to apply, and at the same time, you know, the change with 9 playing an Arc Warden instead of
like
Tusk.
a carry.
He's going to react to sort of these moves a little less. So I don't think, you know, Tundra, they're not going to feel too under pressure despite losing some of these early towers. They've gone for a bit of a different approach this time round.
Absolutely.
And, you know, at the moment, under a 1k gold difference between the two teams. 9, I think he's still very happy.
Yeah, it's a totally different approach, right? The last time the Tusk, who's super aggressive, constantly rotating, making plays, now it's just, it's a full economy game, really. Everyone's just trying to find as much farm as possible until they find this timing. Wraith Pact is done. speed up a little bit, go for a tower pressure of their own.
They'll take this one for sure. Secret, they'll have no interest in this fight, this defense around this bottom tower.
Secret's maximizing. You see now, as we were mentioning, the stacks. Triple ancient stack, double hard camp. So Crystallis will have a bit of enabling coming out of your juicy stacks.
Crystallis, we saw very much in game one as the Pudge pretty much held behind the entire time in terms of farm on cores. Clear these stacks, get on the road towards the Aghanims. That's going to be the point where you can imagine that Secret, they're going to really start stepping things up and get up towards the tier 2 pushes with a Vanguard, Aghanims, Bristle. They're going to want to do as much as they can aggressively with it before 9 suddenly turns up and he has 3 items done.
Very farm-heavy game, though. Showing all 3 lanes. It's not an easy place to fight.
It's going down so quick. It's going down so quick.
Pace.
Very, very good moves here for the Secret so far. Absolutely getting to play their game so much more than they were able to do so last game here. 15 minutes in, they've got the Aegis in their hands. So.
Oh, so close.
It was close indeed. Snaking indeed throwing out a tip for that one. That was as close as it gets really on the back of an escape in the TP.
Tundra perhaps wanting to make a move of their own now. They do, because everyone's showing, right? Secret, they haven't shown a lot in these lanes, so Tundra looks like they do want to try to counteract this. They have 9 who can constantly always show up to the fights too.
Yeah, I think for the most part, Tundra know that even though the Secret have that Aegis, it's sort of an Aegis that's going to be used to just continue to allow Nisha to farm safely, and Secret will be a little bit split up. Give the chance for Tundra to push for towers themselves, and to sort of head straight into these fights, knowing that they'll probably have the numbers advantage at this stage.
And they can take these towers pretty quickly as well too. The Visage with the CK Phantasm tends to be always a Tundra strategy, right? There's so much on the floor. Great Pact, Illusions, Familiars, etc. So they can go for this push, but on the other side, Secret.
Now taking tier 2 tower here. Nice and early, 16 minutes in. Full on the top lane. Now they'll really be able to start taking over this jungle, this half of the map from Tundra. Really sort of shutting down the areas that Tundra, they kind of need to find, right, at least at their 2 main cores. They need space. Mosquito and 9, they want to be soaking up quite a lot of the map to get farm on these 2 carries.
Yeah, it feels like it's going to be quite a long time before Tundra just looks for this head-on type of fight. Unless they see, like we said, unless they see Secret completely split up or something like that. Feels like it's going to be quite a farm game coming out from them. Even Soxon now showing mid. He might get punished for this.
Yeah, they got him before. Looks like they're going to go for him again.
Find him, Zayats. I don't think they got vision of him for a second. Now they did.
Saxa has Skinner by his side, but
too much.
Won't be able to jump over towards him in time. There's Saxa going down.
Similar wards coming out from Tundra as they did in the last game. So this one, exact same ward, and actually this one not on the high ground this time, but similar kind of purpose to watch any of these movements that are coming out from Secret, because Tundra, as we said, I think this is really going to be pretty emphasis of farm until 9 says, hey guys, I'm ready to show up. And maybe that's going to actually happen sooner than we expect, because I believe the Gleipnir is about to be done.
Just a recipe away.
That could be the indicator for them to show up. It does add so much potential for this hero. The damage, the control, everything, of course. But allows you to just freely land spark rates and kind of just keep people away from getting on top of you. So let's see if that is when they are going to look to fight.
Could be difficult to close that gap onto 9, especially considering the heroes that are drafted around him. A lot of frontline, even sort of from the supports, right?
Yes.
Snaking, getting him with the Supernova. Saxa throwing himself in as the Marcy, getting him with the rebound. Very much multiple ways that Tundra can set up a team fight to just allow 9 to go to work, with Secret having a really tough time getting on top of it.
Honestly, thinking about it.
It's hard to push for this tower, even with the moments left on the Aegis. Secret very careful about how they look to make the next step.
Risky move. Don't want to overextend and get 5-man. They haven't seen this. They haven't seen the Arc Warden in a while, so they probably don't know either what Nine's got just yet. Level 13 on this Arc already. Running around as a unit. 4 heroes together on Secret. Well, it's Chrysalis. Looks like he's got the BKB ready. So
even with the moments left on the
Secret, they're
Aegis,
just going to keep trying to push the tempo a little bit faster here.
being very careful about how they look to make the next
for
step.
Rezo. So as you mentioned, it can be a little bit hard to maybe get to this Arc Warden without overextending. Just the Morphling getting on it. Now Rezo's got a tool. They haven't seen the Arc Warden in a while, so they probably don't know either what Nine's got just yet. Level 13 on this Arc already.
Even though they have this niche Morphling that's going to be able to get to these incredible stages of power in terms of scaling, you still kind of fear the Arc Warden as the moments pass.
Fear the high ground for sure. Rezo.
Tundra. Quickly back out, snaking. So away in time, that snowball not able to catch him. Tundra avoiding the moves of Secret. Secret just trying to get some sort of aggressive play out of these final few seconds that they have on the Aegis of Nisha. Back over towards the mid, Saxa. A little bit of a chase down onto Puppey. Puppey has got back up on the way. Chrysalis heading over to help out, and Tundra won't try and poke up into the triangle of Secret quite yet. Well, with Skeeter at the front, he's actually going to go for Puppey. See Chrysalis now, as Chrysalis starts to try and push back Tundra. Nisha is coming in from the side, they're over the snowball over towards Skeeter, but Sax is in with a rebound, start up to Nisha. Nisha starting to try and shoot, but that's not gone. He's got Aegis though. He's going to be back for round 2. Chrysalis charging the BKB over towards the Phoenix, but Snake, he's able to get the Supernova off. Secret, they've got to back away from the ultimate for now. As Nine turns up with a Tempest double. No longer an easy fight for Secret to charge into. Zayas, he's trying to find some sort of angle from the side. But Tundra, they're here as a full 5-man. They'll look towards Naked, but the dives back up. They get the stun. Control onto Skeeter. Skeeter turns with the stun himself, but he's life stealing back up. It's not enough though. Skeeter goes down. Able to get 1 kill out of this, maybe more. Chrysalis trying to lead the charge. Secret, they want to get something else out of this. Tundra, Thatcher in the trees. Quick juke off to the side, back under the tier 2. He'll be fine. But Secret, they force a fight there around the expiring Aegis of Nisha. They get Skeeter, and with that in mind, they'll be able to get themselves straight onto Tundra's half of the map and continue to grow this lead.
Perfectly rallied, right? Rallied around Puppey. That's got to be the name of the game. He's got the Vlads, he's got the mech, he's got all these auras. We see the ice armor coming into play. Chrysalis had no fear. He pops BKB and he just starts charging right through everybody. And then they nicely kite and play around that supernova beautifully. Tundra maybe going a little bit too hard going into this Secret lineup when there still is that Aegis. So 10 seconds until it was going to go down.
Yeah, it was a very clean reset as well there from Secret. As soon as the Supernova comes out, they're able to sort of back off. And you can see, from Tundra, they still commit into this. They very much feel that they've got the strength to do so with the 5 of them. Wasn't quite the case. Losing Skeeter here to what was a very patient Zayas, just keeping himself held to the side, looking for that opportunity to open things up onto Tundra from maybe an angle that they weren't quite ready to sort of expect that entrance from the Tusk from. Back in action, talking about the Tusk, Zayas is in with a jump, they lock down staking, Skeeter looks to turn, they've got the glide, they control out, but Skeeter's trapped. He's trapped on the low ground, he'll stand his ground, the tunnel the crits are going to be out there, he's able to take out the 2 of them. It's a double kill for 9.
Oh my, Saxa gets the 2-man rebound and they get the chain stun from the birds.
I mean,
oh man.
This time round, very much a case of Secret. The move into committing for the fight, but not having what it took there. There as well for Skeeter, very much keeping him. There's just too much. They couldn't kill the CK this time round.
Not rallied around Puppey. You know, they have to be a little bit careful when they don't have all these auras that are making them that much tankier. Tundra's damage is pretty insane.
Yep. And when you go for those plays and Nine's just able to sort of sit back at a distance, it's concerning. You know, 2 kills for 9.
And now they also have an AC, so starting to build up these auras to even counteract and play against this Chen, but also protect versus this big damage that comes out from the Bristle and that Morph. 33 is quite large.
Yeah, and we see with 9 next time queued up is going to be the Blink Dagger, so it'll be even harder for Secret to get that jump onto him. We see any sort of snowball or hero running up this Arc Warden. 9, he's going to be able to blink back, reposition, and allow the rest of his team to sort of be there in between him and Secret.
I love this type of build. Eventually, you can always build into like these overwhelming blinks and whatnot on Arc Warden, and then you have these double blinks and all this aggression you can do too. It's very oppressive as Tundra now starting to find their footing completely.
Well, they'll look for a tier 2 themselves.
Side-kicked Bird. Look how quick the tower drops. See you later.
Push. Gone in a matter of seconds, even if that. And off the back of that immediate smoke from Tundra, they know that Secret's playing over on Tundra's half of the map around their jungle.
They're feeling incredibly strong with this newfound AC on 33.
Time for Secret to take a fight.
They also disassembled, so the
They do have
BKB
the high
is
grab
ready.
at 9, but the Tempest doubly start things off with the Glyph, they grab back Zayat. Secret, they've got to run.
I mean, that's also really cool that he can do it with the blink too. Right now, he has an initiator. They don't need to actually rely on Marcy being the one to jump in. He just blinks in and gets a Glypner initiation. Yeah, BKB, Skeeter had just finished that one up, so they felt strong to be able to go for this play. And now he's got Mage Slayer as well too, so items starting to being picked up on the side of Tundra, not only just to do lots of damage, but of course, damage mitigation as we've seen so much from them. AC, Mage Slayer, it's gonna start to reduce a lot of Secret's potential.
Yeah, it's so hard for them to burst through Skeeter like they were able to do that one time when he was caught on their half of the map.
It's a really good item this game, just like last time, versus that Lash, versus the Bristle, reduces damage of the Quills, even the burst that comes out from Morphling. So, it's starting to come together for them. It's a very common build, of course, too, for Skeeter.
I think for Secret, Nisha, almost certainly making the call for them to just sort of hold off on any further engagements until he gets his BKB done.
Yeah.
About half the gold away from the recipe, and it will be there, but it's going to be a little later than the timing that Roshan is going to be back in the game here. Roshan respawning.
They're
Secret,
walking up.
They are up on the high ground. They definitely want to try and do their best to push Tundra away from going for the Roche. See if they can hold them off from it. As Tundra, they won't feel the need to be too scared of Secret. You know how strong they are. Secret, they'll look for the smoke up. Trying to catch Tundra from an angle they won't expect is not going to be easy when Secret currently hold the position they are. They're going to try and swing around from the west.
Lanes are starting to kind of get pushed out, though. We see Tundra cutting a wave mid.
They've got this ward on 9. 9. Already out of this area.
This is the Tundra special, right? They start shoving those side lanes in to try to put you into this awkward position of a fight. Everyone rallied around each other.
How do you make the call as Secret? How do you make the jump? Tundra with their own smoke.
They don't want to overextend for these type of jumps either. Like we were saying before, they need to stay kind of rallied around Puppey. Make sure that they can utilize these auras at a maximum.
Tundra just rotating sort of all the way around where Secret tried to step out for.
They found Puppey.
They're going to be able to get on the easy kill. Straight on over the chair. Puppey caught by the Hex, taken down. Zayat tries to roll in, but there's no place for him here.
Puppey pig-pulled himself. Doesn't even get any heals off or anything. No Wraith Pack, no mech. Caught by the stun anyway, so likely dies. But now, it's an option for them to go for Roche.
And with both supports down, I don't think the cores of Secret are going to want to turn up for this.
Oh boy.
This should be a free and easy Roshan for Tundra.
Free shard as well. Skeeter's going to be loving that. Actually passes it away. Looks like he's going to give it to 9. Okay, so more ways for him to protect himself and also magic resistance. So they can actually hold it. So we're talking so much about damage mitigation, of course, but this is another element that I feel like we don't really get to see too often. You fight inside the bubble.
Yeah.
Your Lash, this Bristle, the damage might not be there.
It's going to be a fair bit of protection. Able to be kept consistently up and out on the field.
And things are starting to get a bit scary because the scaling for Tundra is getting quite strong. Even the Marcy, level 12 is online. BKB is on the horizon. 12 on Phoenix. Game plan for Secret is starting to get kind of dissuaded.
All around the mid, they do find 33.
Okay.
Alan on his own.
He's very deep.
They might be able to do something about the familiars as well here.
Big pickup.
The slip up, a rare one as well there for 33. Out on his own, will be out now for 40 seconds.
Can they turn it into more?
Is there something they can do with this one?
Yeah, they have to push out this bottom lane. Top is being dealt with Puppey, but do they have an opportunity to go for anything here?
Sax is very close to his BKB. Ready once again. You know, Tundra support, so many games where their supports just turn into additional cores. Also, as a Marcy, very much sort of the direction that Saxa will go as the minutes pass. Skeeter, so having his Blink Dagger done. They have killed 33, but it definitely feels like there's not a whole lot they can do with that. They're looking towards 9's Tempest double at the top. See if they can sort of burst through that, get a bit of extra gold for themselves. They will, they'll take it down.
have to go for the top play, because if you looked at the side lanes, mid lane, Phantasm was pushing it, bottom, Phantasm Illusion was also pushing it. So it's a typical Tundra trying to shove those lanes down, and now they see this, they see them split up. So Tundra, they're looking to strike.
Full axe on Crystallis.
Comes out late though.
It does not quite at the timing that they would have hoped for, especially considering the decent start they did have to this game. Zayat, the one left behind up top. It's Tundra, everybody back on the map now. To get together, push down on this top lane. Still many minutes of Aegis to play with. Full Octarine done
boy.
on 9.
He's so farmed. 6,000 ahead of his counterpart.
And there's going to be no catching up in terms of farm unless Secret are able to find these fights where Nisha's able to pop off, get the kills, somehow take down this Arc Ward, and it's going to be a lot of money if they're able to do so.
It's not an easy task.
He's got his Crystallis done, Nisha, so stepping up the damage a bit. We'll see how explosive he will be if he's able to get in the center of the fight with the waveform, stand his ground between the BKB and the Manta that he has.
He's going to need as much I feel like it's really appropriate that he's going this. I feel like they're really just going to need all the physical damage as possible, because as we were saying, you know, they just have so many different ways to mitigate that magic damage that they always tend to do, especially with that Arc Ward and bubble as well too. So yeah, straight physical damage, go waveform, attack target, and with that, with the goo as well too, he could be dealing a lot of damage, but so far Tundra, they've started to really just take over this map.
5k lead, 4 to 5k. I mean, nowhere near as terrifying as the numbers were showing at this moment in the game in game 1. Still, very much feel that one more fight, if the next fight crumbles for Secret, that number, that lead's going to triple. Secret, they cannot afford to lose another team fight here against Tundra. At the moment, very much seems like they're opting to wait out the Aegis the Skeeter has. Not looking to head straight into anything for this final minute. Skeeter has that second life.
Again, pop those Phantasm to send out to all these side lanes. Bottom is being pushed, but immediately 9 goes down. So, again, sticking together Tundra, and they will just find a freebie.
They will indeed, Giants. I mean, anyone that they catch with the farm that Skeeter has,
and now they're
completely destroyed.
High ground. They've got drums for these birds. They've got the sidekick we're going to see on the bird too. And look at the speed. Look how fast it drops.
It's going quickly. Fortification is there from Secret.
They've got the Rezo. They've got Shard on Rezo, so he's going to be able to slow it down a little bit with these chain stuns.
We'll see if Nisha can do anything here as he's ready to TP over. Help out with the defense.
Oh, this is dirty. Look at these birds. Birds with magnetic field magic resistance. The attack, I mean, they're so strong.
They are huge annoyance to deal with here for Secret. We'll go for the resummon.
Stun,
33.
Skeeter.
He's low, but he's still got 20 seconds or so left on the Aegis. He's going to back off. We'll see them catch out the two of them with the root. Skeeter focuses in. Albion going down, but for those final few seconds of the Aegis, he's ready for round 2. Saxa, he'll charge him with the unleash of the BKB. Quickly turning towards him with his right clicks. They'll put an end to the Marcy's life. Saxa to fall. Grab now on the Crystallis. Skeeter at 33. They get back in on top of the bristle. They take him down. Nisha popping the BKB. They have to use it to retreat back up the high ground. Skeeter, he's in straight away. Blinks up into the high ground. They've got the lockdown over towards Nisha. Waveform back up in time. Nisha gets away. Double buyback from Secret. They're putting everything into this defense, but Skeeter's in with the chaos ball over towards Resolution. It doesn't matter though. Skeeter goes down. Secret with the 2 buybacks. They'll be able to hold and push Tundra back.
Nisha able to stand his ground there. Look at the damage done. 9,000 damage from the Morphling. The buybacks coming perfectly.
A defense for sure here from Secret, but they'll want more.
They gotta push forward for sure.
Crystal is spending up for that one. See up to the side, Zayat. He's got to catch the gap control onto Snake King. Snake King pops the supernova, but Crystal is
he's gonna die.
And he's ready to help take the egg down. Secret. They'll find another down bottom. Rezo, he's got his eyes on 9. Stun has already been used, and he's out in time. 9 able to get away before Nisha's able to put a stop to him. They'll still clean up the Tempest double. And Secret, with this sort of pushback, they're able to bring in the mid lane, bring in the bottom lane, able to get the creep waves back under sort of their momentum, and they may just be able to take some tier 2s away from Tundra here, close the gap, close the lead that Tundra's had for sort of the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, this time it's Tundra fueling themselves a little bit too much in that fight and just get counteracted from those buybacks. The damage, this time Rezo's able to hold his ground.
mean, we're very much seeing it. You know, you get given sort of any window from Tundra, you have to take full opportunity of it.
Immediate smoke.
Exactly what Secret's doing.
Yep, they got to smoke, sweep the map. They still have some heroes dead. Ult's on cooldown. Try to get as much as you can out of all
Yeah, they've got to keep their foot slammed down on the pedal. Hit the red zone. So to find 33 off to the side. For now, but they're surround him, and he's got nobody else in the area. So 33, he'll go down. Secret, they continue to play it hard and fast, fighting back at Tundra.
Huge plays, really. Those buybacks are really coming into play. 33 even, he accepts his death. He had the Aeon disc locked. He's like, no one's coming to help me. As Secret find their way back into this game. Nisha, he's massive now. Level 20 about to be taken. Also, Daedalus is finished.
Big damage to come out for this morph.
He's going to be able to focus fire these targets a little bit better.
I mean, it was seen, as I say, so many times before. Nisha on the morphling. This is the hero. You want to have him in on this sort of position. He can absolutely carry any sort of game to the later stages when he's on his morphling. To top lane. So of course now done. On 9.
He's very deep to the Hex.
Look at the opening Hex. And Rezo is going to be able to get anything off. He's not. Phantasm's out. An overwhelming amount of damage there from Skeeter and the Phantasm.
That's the Hex reveal. He had no idea that was going to come. Usually you'd be able to maybe play around with the pounds coming in or the rebound coming in from Marcy with the BKB, but did not expect that Hex from the tree lines. Roche, it'll be a long spawn, 2 minutes. Zayat's standing under a ward here. Very careful how far up he is.
I mean, Secret are absolutely going to want to do their best to keep tabs of when Tundra head into the pit. They'll want to get out there. They'll want to contest them. They do not want Tundra getting this next shot.
Nice play from Nisha. The illusions down bottom, we see them cutting the wave. So making sure that they always deal with those lanes. It seems like it's always like the most important thing when you're playing versus Tundra. Keep that lane equilibrium. Will be addressed immediately. 9 shows up. They're going to just keep peeping into the pit. That's going to be that next big thing. 90 seconds.
Yeah, it really is. See if Secret can set up in a fashion to make sure that they are ready to take this fight around this area.
Important to look at these buyback statuses at the moment too. So.
Oh. Uh-oh. Simply sort of maybe just a hotkey issue or something. That's going to be fixed by a quick reset here, the snaking. Very much, yeah, the moment that we're going to see them leading towards now. He's back in. Let's see if he can use his courier now. Quick check.
Look at lane positioning at the moment, though. Secret have to try to fix their lanes a little bit. They do have this Harpy creep. They need to perhaps try to cut things, but the moment Tundra have lanes in a very good position.
Let's have a look.
Phantasm is up in a moment as well, too, so they're going to be able to keep going for this shove play. And yeah, Roche constantly going to be getting scouted. And the important thing is, too, Secret doesn't know about that deep ward down south. The one that was scouting Zayat before, that's a very sneaky one that has not been seen. Oh.
It's not a good sign.
Uh-oh. His courier's bug.
Let's see if there's going to be a hopefully simple solution to this.
A standing unlucky.
You can say so. Yeah, unlucky.
And that Nisha smile.
See if we get this sorted. Bit of a, you know, not really something you can play on with.
The big thing really to look at is, I mean, this Hex is going to be a big one, really.
Looks like we're just getting this checked out now on the stage. Should be enough fix. I mean, I'm not something I could say I've run into before, right?
I've had it with neutral items sometimes when you're trying to take it with wars and smoke. See if they can fix it. So a big thing really to look at is, I mean, this Hex is going to be a big one, really.
So I think maybe the speed that we did have to reconnect the first time round could have been without a client set, so it looks like we're just getting this checked out restart this time around. Stage.
Hopefully, if not, he'll be able to at least drop the wards and give them to a different courier so somebody else can bring them. But
easy enough fix. I mean, I'm not something I could say I've run into before, right?
I've had it with neutral items sometimes when you're trying to take it with wars and smoke. Maybe something like that.
17 here, 35 minutes in. Without a doubt, very much getting much more of maybe the speed that we did have to reconnect the first time round. This time without Secret reset, so much better with what Tundra's brought against this time round.
It's really neck and neck. Just because, I mean, especially how big Nisha really is. I'm going to be able to do with this Daedalus. Approaching his second item afterwards, too. survivability will be there for him. Let's see.
Let's have a look. Just cross, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to be all working after the pause. Let's see. It looks good. Oh, he said done.
No, it's spazzing. I actually see it. It's like it's like stutter walking actually in the base, I think. Second, it tried to move. Yeah, it says retrieving items. See, look. Click on snake items. On the actual courier, it's above.
Okay, now we're giving it another try.
I'm fine with waiting and all, but I...
Usually tries to pull it from... Well, he dropped it. There we go. Looks like we're good to go.
A little bit of a way to break out of a bit of a soft lock that was there on the courier, but it's all good. We're all good.
I think we all needed that. You know, a little bit of a reset. Okay, let's get back into it.
So, you know, that was always a bit of a concerning position, but we're all good. We're all good. It has been fixed. See if there's... Shouldn't be an issue down the line. Maybe the courier's just sort of stuck or something, but it's good. It's all good. We're back on. Around, of course, the focus. Next up for both teams going to be this Roshan. Just in a minute until it's going to respawn.
Wow, Nisha already.
All satanic.
He has it.
He's getting the items, Nisha. He's getting the items to be able to do this. And still, obviously, a huge gap in net worth between him and the Arc Quarter. But that's what going to be expected up to a certain point at this stage, especially with the amount of freedom that Nine's had. And Nine, of course, this game 4-0-5. It's a pretty much complete free farm across the map.
If they can get the Hex, though.
They're able to get that opening. The Snowball save, though. It's going to be there. Give Nisha a bit of a chance to break out of this initiation from Tundra. They jump across sides, looks towards 33. They push Saxa out towards the side. Nisha beating him down, takes out the Marcy. Look towards the Tempest double next. Tundra losing that Marcy, losing Saxa like this. They're very careful about how they commit for the fight further.
Beautiful play, really, from Zayats. Just immediately, that's the big thing they have to watch out for. It's just the chain control. If they can chain stun, chain hex the Morphling, that's the way that Tundra kills him. I mean, all eyes on Zayats to go for those saves.
Oh, there's again the Hex. So Zayats is by his side.
He's got to be there
every single time. Zayats making sure that there's a chance for Nisha to fight back. They catch him for the furthest. Not that Nisha's in so much trouble. They're taking him down.
He got out.
Out for 80 seconds.
He didn't have BKB still available, and they just come in for him. I don't think Secret saw that.
All the apples are satanic to Ryan, but even if he gets that off, he's getting caught in the stuns.
Oh boy.
Almost certainly.
And I mean, Roche now is for the taking.
It certainly is.
It's a big
perfect time for it to be back up here for Tundra. They head over to the pit, and with no Nisha, no Zayats, nothing that Secret can do about this. This is going to be a free Roshan here for Tundra.
And Zayats is there. He's there perfectly to try to go for the save. BKB Manta still on cooldown. The double roots. You see the Gleipnir coming in. He's able to cover. So much control. And yeah, Aegis Cheese, Refresher Shard.
Who's taking the Refresher Shard? Who do on this one?
Usually it's the Phoenix, but let's see if he does opt to pass it to somebody else.
Very close to hitting the level 18 as well. So the Supernovas have the potential to be huge.
And they have this ward up top too. Rezo. There's a Hex.
There's Nine again.
They've got the chain stun.
Finding the opening, in with the rebound as well. Toss back with the dispose. They take him down before the Hex comes to an end, and any opportunities there for Resolution to respond. He's out for 70. He does have buyback himself. Still at 10 seconds without Nisha. Tundra, they're straight down the mid. They take out the range racks, and they'll look to get the melee racks as well. Chrysalis trying to force them away from him, but they don't care too much about him. In fact, they're just going to get aggressive on him, drag him back in. He has to put the BKB here. The Phantasms continue to take down the melee racks. The full set now in the mid, removed here by Tundra, and they're sticking around. Nine up towards the top of the Tempest double. They're trying their best to force out this buyback from Resolution. Another tier 3's gone. A second set of racks exposed.
Look how fast it dies.
Are they going to be forced back at all? Fortifications popped. Sinisha on top of the Tempest double. It's soon to come to an end. Nisha's been caught with the Snowball. It's there. Dies out of bail. Nisha out. That initiation there from Tundra. Nisha wants the BKB. Looks towards Saxa, but Saxa wants the BKB. Turns towards Chrysalis. Disposes there. Chrysalis is down. No buyback for him. There's 100 seconds now without their Bristle. Rezo, his own BKB to come to an end. He has to back off. Nisha's also going to be so careful. They'll lose Puppy. 2 heroes dead, no buyback on them. Tundra, they take a full second set of barracks.
They're just so good at just resetting and poking, forcing BKBs, forcing mistakes, waiting for the perfect opportunity.
They're not going back anywhere.
No way, Snaking still has the Refresher Shard. They couldn't even touch the egg in that last fight.
I mean, we've seen with it, so the purchases from Chrysalis, he did spend up. He would have had buyback back in 3 seconds, but he's 700 gold short of it.
It's all gone. I mean, the way they kill those buildings is way too fast.
I mean, the terrifying thing as well is indeed, yeah, Skidder still with that Aegis, Snake King still with the Refresher Shard. There's no reason, no need for Tundra to back off. They're looking to close this game 2 out. With the tier 4s fall, Secret, they'll look to smoke up. One final attempt to stop this push from Tundra, but the entrance full is up. Redo looks to jump in. Skidder drag back Resolution. Resolution trying to get the heal off with the Bloodstone. They'll keep him alive. The hand they've got from Puppy will protect him for now. But the Ancient's still dying here to the familiar Secret. They're trying to push them back, but it's not going to be possible. GG is going to be called.
Wow.
As game 2 also going to Tundra, who now lead the series 2-0 against Team.Secret.
I mean, I feel like the whole game kind of flips the script, everything looking kind of even. 9 gets this Hex, immediately the game just becomes fully in their favor. A couple pickoffs here and there, the way they can poke and prod. Rigo, full to watch. Tundra.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, in regards from game 1 to game 2, definite sort of improvements overall from Secret, but still, just the way that Tundra are able to shut these games down, and even to the point as well, with their draft, we knew that the win was going to come in a bit of a different fashion regardless from what they did in game 1. And, you know, the fact at the end of the day is that 9 on the Arc Warden.
What a beast.
8-0-9. Secret, they were just never able to catch him, Fogged.
No, he kept the distance, he was like the initiator half the time, so it felt like he did pretty much everything for this team. Catching the split push, etc. Remarkable game from Tundra.
Well, as we said, a bit of an improvement made from game 1 to game 2, but it really feels like Secret, they've got to step it up so much more to have any sort of chance of stopping Tundra in their tracks, as Tundra now leading the series 2-0, just 1 win away from taking the championship.
To our panel, and it doesn't seem to matter what lineup they play, they put on an absolutely clinical game of Dota. One mistake and then it's just, thank you very much, it's our map. I'm joined by Tika, Blizzard, and Sheep. I'm just amazed with Tundra right now. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It looks so dominating. You know, it's like, is it a grand final?
Like, they have so much practice on them. Meanwhile, Secret, at the same time, I think Tundra is in their head again. Like, you can't...
Dominating early game, moving from tower to tower, they just kind of fall victim to that kind of choke point fight. And unfortunately, even if you are taking some of these earlier towers, feeling that you're taking the map away from Tundra, like Blizzard just mentioned, you're not stopping the Arc from farming. So at some point, you are going to hit that boiling point where Tundra hits a team timing and then gets to set the pace of the game themselves.
How many ways they have to initiate, Shipo?
I mean, they kept gaining ways to initiate throughout the game. That was like what I found the most impressive. When they finished this Gleipnir and stuff, they're starting with that and going into the Marcy Dispose. You know, before that they're using Marcy. Later they get the Hex. They're creating their own ways of initiation. They're sitting with 4 heroes in the trees waiting for Resolution the Strike to just come up the lane and then pick him off like that. They are bleeding Secret dry.
And again, they're just getting multiple ways of gaining info, gaining vision. Like before you had, I don't know, a Brood Mother Naga. Now you have this Arc Warden just spamming spirits everywhere. You have Visage as well. And speaking of Visage, it wasn't only 33 Visage, it was a Visage with a Marcy. Now you have a sidekick on those birds. The objectives are just melting.
Yeah, just the fact that you have as well, like 33 in lane, it's a Visage killing the Bristleback. Like this lane, you're not meant to win it. When you pick Bristleback, you're meant to beat the Visage in lane. So Tundra already just excelling inside that laning phase and just kind of catapulting themselves to kind of weather the storm. And maybe if that Visage lane didn't go so well for Tundra, you could argue that the Bristle will be a little bit bigger. The pace Secret could set could be a little bit better. But the fact that you win that lane, it stalls it out a little bit longer. So Tundra then eventually, like we already mentioned, hit this beautiful team timing where they just punish Secret once again in game 2.
Yeah, I mean, Chrysalis still had a decent-ish timing. They stacked the Ancients hard.
Yeah.
And of course, yeah, Skidder here, the carry for Tundra. He's just had not only a great performance, but a great team enabling him. And I don't think he's put a foot wrong, really. He's always known what he needs to do, his objectives, and of course, his team fighting skills are, on par with that as well.
The itemization, once again, right? Like you have this Chaos Knight who is building into a very early Mage Slayer. He's mitigating the damage that Lashrak is dishing out, and overall just being a true team player, just being up front, helping the Visage, and the Arc Warden do the majority of the work.
Again, just look at the stats that you see here, right? Like, this is his first TI. He's hitting firsts in multiple categories. Like, he is unnerved. He has unlocked his ability just to enable himself, enable the team. Again, we've had so many interviews where they just feel like everything's clicking, everything's right. And again, we're going into a game 3 where it feels like Secret just has nothing to answer yet to Tundra's playstyle.
But in defense of Secret, this was a better performance than game 1.
Yes, they adapted a lot. So from game 1 to game 2, you can clearly see how the cogs were turning with Heen and Puppy's mentality on how to approach Tundra. They needed to take towers early. They wanted to take away the map. Don't allow that fortified style of Tundra to set into play. Unfortunately, that didn't then lead to them dominating the map, them holding an aggressive position, because they faltered a little and Tundra then kind of sneaked their way through into the map and played again. So I think if you're going at Secrets looking at this again, game 3, we need to do what we did in game 2, but better. We need to execute faster, quicker, take away the map. Don't let them even get that up.
Sheep, do you snatch, do you ban the Lash? Do you leave it in the pool? Do you pick it? You just lost twice with it. You lost on mid, you lost on offlane.
Yeah, I don't know if they need to ban it, because I don't think Tundra are interested in taking it. Yeah, like, it feels like they have a very solid idea against the Lashrak. I also feel like their way of drafting versus the style is not working either, because they've tried this, like, Magnus strat with Ember, like, ways to clear all these illusions and stuff, and it's not working. They've tried Bristleback, and Lashrak also here is typically thought to be good against these illusions. It's not working. I feel like at this point, your draft needs to go more in the direction of taking your own map control, fighting back against Tundra, because they are just able to play the map too well. You have to break that. That has to be the goal of your draft.
And this is something you mentioned, Liz, that the Arc Warden sat on the Tundra's offlane for 5 minutes, but Secret didn't want to engage. They were not interested in going down and making moves there. Instead, though, they did have the Dire jungle, and they did pick up a few kills. Do you think it was too passive to play around the jungle and not take on the Arc Warden, who was played by 9?
Yeah, I feel like it's easy to be complacent when you're playing a draft such as Secrets. You have this Morphling, he is going to be the ultra carry late game. The problem is you're playing versus an Arc Warden. You won't get to the late game if you let him roam and do whatever he wants in the first 15 minutes. He just gets too big, too fast, and gets that hex fast enough. You've seen what happens.
Well, we have to see what Secret are going to do for game 3. But right now, I think we need to hear a little bit from Tundra, because before the grand finals, they sat down with Avo.
Welcome, Tundra.Esports, to the grand finals round table. What is a peak Tundra game? What game do you guys think expresses your playstyle the most?
I can say that to me, it's not about the heroes. Like, for me, like, the peak Tundra, in my words, would be controlled chaos. I think that's how we describe us.
Wow. Very cool. Is it a close relationship between you guys?
I think it's very important to be close to one another, to be able to function as a team. And I think right now, like, I really enjoy spending time with all of the guys. I think it's also partly the reason why we are playing well as a team, I think.
It's your first TI, Skidder. First time you get to play in front of such a big crowd at a TI.
Correct.
Well, how does it feel?
I mean, it feels great. It's all I ever dreamed it to be. And, I always wanted this to be a reality, so I'm just happy to live it.
You've had your experience at TI, particularly that second place with DC. In that tournament, you came in as the underdogs, right, into TI, or at least maybe not one of the favorites. Do you feel like that this tournament?
I would say so. Like, I feel like after the results in Saudi and the Arlington Major, we kind of had some pretty bad results, so people weren't looking at us as one of the contenders, which I think, in hindsight, it was a very good thing to us. Even after we lost, we kind of said, now it's good. Now we can go in as the underdogs,
How do you guys feel about snaking as a captain?
He's always trying his hardest, and I think he's been doing a really great job. He's always managed to stay positive, even through kind of our rough times.
I feel like he's done a great job. I feel like sometimes as a captain, people fall into these traps where they kind of they had maybe a bit too much in the ego and they believe in their ideas too much and they don't try to empower their teammates. But I feel like Sneh has done a good job of balancing this out, empowering the teammates' ideas and also believing in his and trying to make them work. So I feel like he's exceeded my expectations for sure.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think he's very great at enabling players and their ideas.
We don't need like a strong leader in terms of someone that makes all the decisions. I'm really happy that we kind of have a captain in him, but he still listens to everyone. We still make decisions together and everything.
You guys seem to all have your own ideas of Dota, and you get to put them in your gameplay, right?
Yeah, everyone has like, especially when it comes to the different lanes, I'm happy that everyone gets to play the lane they want to, how they want to, you know. I know that whatever I want to play on mid lane, Sneh is gonna support me.
I'm curious about that. When you first described your idea of the mid lane to them, how was the conversation?
I think it started with Winter Wyvern.
The Wyvern? Ah.
And I was just playing the hero in a pub, and I got pushed into playing it in scrims, basically. It's not like I was saying from the beginning that, oh, I want to play this hero, it's so broken in pubs. I started being more open to the idea of playing different heroes, and every time like I started winning with things, people saw it and supported me and pushed me as well. I think everyone is very open to trying new things in this team.
How are the feelings towards finals?
I try not to think too much about it, because I think the more you think about it, the more you'll overthink things, and you should just treat it as another game you're playing. It's not a big deal. Obviously, there's going to be a big crowd. You just have to mentally prepare yourself for that in advance, so then you're not overwhelmed by it by the time that the crowd is there.
I'm excited, honestly, which is a very good thing because I'm rarely excited.
I was very much like emotionally neutral, so I just want to go in these games, like play my game and just have fun and like show some good Dota to the viewers. So.
How does it feel to play in front of a big crowd at TI? Is it different than when you play like in the majors or anything like that?
For now, it has been easier than all the other crowds I've played in front of. I really feel like all the things come together this TI. Like so many moments. So many losses in the past year that taught me specific things. I use them now to win.
I'm just excited that I've been playing this game for like 15 years now, or Dota 1 and Dota 2 combined, and I finally get the opportunity to play on this arena and get the grand finals. It's been a dream of mine for many years, and I'm just happy and grateful that I was able to accomplish it. Like, yes, this is kind of going to be the biggest game of my life, but I think something we've been working about with our psychologists to kind of try and lower the stress is that all our hard work has already been done. Like, now all we have to do is just go and play. So what I would like to do is just try not to think about it too much, pretend this is just a regular game and just go and play.
It was always my goal to come to TI and to win it.
Here I'm just super happy, and it's like the only thing left to do is just play.
So there we have it, Tundra sitting down with Avo, and I just got to congratulate whoever the psychologist is. Either you've just worked magic and they're doing meditation, or you've got them all on meds, because they are the most chill team. That's a grand final, pre-grand final sit-down interview. They were so calm. They're here and they just want to take it. And they might 3-0.
I feel like they could just win like 4 TIs in a row right now. Like, if they keep like, I mean, like right now, like if they play tomorrow another grand finals and then another one and another one, like the fact that they're all 5 just in the same mindset, answering in the same tone of voice, like they're just.
A unit.
That is scary. Like they are one.
I did like the fact, though, they did ask everybody what's snaking like as a captain as he sat on the end of the table.
How does he drive them? Like
he's just going,
He's just sitting there and listening as they praise him for like 10 minutes.
But they should. I mean, they made it to the grand finals, and you know he's very chill. And 15 years of Dota, from Dota 1 to Dota 2, and we can take a look here at some of the win rates versus Puppey, and there is snaking.
He's positive.
Exactly. This is the most important thing. So the other day I was looking at snaking win rate versus Puppey, and I saw Noxel starting to tweet about it. So I went onto Dota, looked a bit deeper, and yeah, it's basically there's only 4 players who've ever got a 50% win rate positive against Puppey. Only 4 players. Everyone else is sub 50%. So snaking today, with his victory, yesterday, bumped him up to over 50, drawing with RK. Now he's winning the 2 games currently. He's now 51.8. If he wins the next game in this grand finals, he'll then leapfrog Bulldog and be 2nd place. Again, it is insane.
But with what number?
with a 52.6% win rate.
Oh, I love it when you talk numbers.
There we go. Oh, you like that? But yeah, everyone, all the Tundra fans, they love snaking right now because he clearly is the secret source, maybe, for understanding that puppy mentality.
When's the last time you've been to NA? Tell the truth.
Last time?
Tell the truth. What's this NA copium over here?
What? They're literally like insane. Like, again, to be clear, Secret, they have to do some mad work in this interim. They need to properly break down Tundra, understand everything that's happened in TI in a single like 15-minute break, because Tundra is looking flawless.
I don't know how you're meant to do it in time. I actually genuinely, they've tried like 3-4 different strats and like this was meant to be their idea. We're bringing in the Chen. We need something to take objectives. We need towers. They took that Roche in 14 minutes. Like they were doing everything right, and they still crumbled. Their strats were just not like up to par with Tundra.
And it's not just the heroes, right? Like if you look at the players, it's in the first 2 games they literally switched up the roles. Like you had Crystallis playing a carry, then he was literally dual flame Bristleback. It wasn't some Midas Aghanim's rushing Bristleback. No, that was Vanguard BKB. He's just gonna stand in front. Nisha was the Leshrac, the mid laner, the classic playmaker. Then he was the Morphling, the ultimate win condition. They're switching everything up, and nothing seemingly works.
If they have to focus on one particular thing to improve, you know, draft, map control, team fight, you know, in terms of draft for the team fight, because they can obviously team fight, but they just seem to be just outmastered a little bit. But what's the one thing that you would want Secret to kind of really have a conversation about in those 15 minutes between Game 2 and where we're going in Game 3?
Would you like to take it?
I think you just reset it, right?
Oh,
like,
okay.
But you've got to change something. You need a reset, but it's...
I mean, maybe it is just draft, like... I've seen a lot of success on the Rezo, Crystallis, Dawnbreaker. Like, that's not getting banned in first phase. Maybe that's something to explore as a strat. It's something that lets them fight globally and often, like, it covers a lot of your heroes. This heal might let them turn the fights around.
I'd lean more on conviction. When you take an area of the map, they want to be able to play there. Don't allow Tundra to be able to sneak back out and then start skipping the waves that way. So if you have this early aggression, make sure you have extra catch to get there.
Well, we'll see, because their time for Team Strat talking over. Puppy with Team.Secret will re-enter the arena. If they are to take this, it needs to be a reverse sweep. Sitting with a 2-0 lead, Tundra, calm, cool and collected. They are smart, but Snaking said in his interview, do not overthink it. Don't try and get too smart, and that's exactly what they've done. They've just been able to play their game, and it's Team.Secret that need to break it. This could be a 3-0. Tundra scary right now, and it's, even though it might not be the, you know, if it was a 3-0, it's like, sure, as a fan for either of the teams, you want, you know, an absolute, you know, amazing game of Dota with all the back and forths, but really, if Tundra can take this 3-0, it's still so impressive.
Now, let's be real. We want more games, right? We want more games than just the 3-0. But if you're Secret as well, you just need to focus on yourself. Like, you can't let Tundra get into your head like in the last best of 3. Focus on your drafts. Focus on what made you get this far. Because nothing works against Tundra if you're focusing on their heroes and banning them out.
This is one of those grand finals where if Tundra win at 3-0, it's like the celebration, like the pro enthusiasts will be like, they just played such beautiful Dota. And this will now be like, how do we want to play Dota? The whole shift of DPC season will be, we'll look at Tundra. How do they skip waves? How do they always have the same element in every draft, even though heroes are different?
Is there something you'd ban out, Sheep? Like, is there a big element of Tundra that needs to go?
I don't know, there's too many heroes to ban for them. When I looked at last game, I think the biggest crack that I saw in their gameplay was when they were repelled from Secret's base and they were suddenly on the back foot of, we have to get out of here. And I think Secret took advantage of that really well for a short time. They were chasing them down lanes, they were getting pickoffs, they were forcing them to use their ults, and they kind of fell apart for a moment. Like, they didn't reset properly. Their resetting was usually really good, but when they kind of had to re-engage in the map, it felt like they were just kind of getting picked off, like, on their Visage top. Stuff like that, if they can just apply more pressure from the side of Secret, like maybe Morphling is too slow of a hero. Maybe they do need to just go all in on that hard tempo, all 5 heroes, go, go, go.
Full divide Dota.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how LGD started getting taken down at Arlington, for example.
Now, how dangerous are Tundra going to be with a 2-0 up? Because already their drafts are hard to ban out, but now they have options. They've got games in the bag to kind of. I'm sure they don't want to throw one. You're shaking your finger at me,
no,
T-Gov.
No. You watch that interview. They are one. You know, they say draft. There's no need to change. We are winning. We shall win. We shall pick the same heroes. We have exactly. We have the second lowest hero pool in all of TI. We just continue winning. Like they don't need to change.
Imagine Aoi, right, staring at you with an expressionless face. He shrugs his shoulder. Why change it?
When they can communicate, you know, telepathically, that's when it will get scary. But it almost seems like it at this point. But can Team.Secret bring it back? That's what I want to know.
I completely agree with what Sheepo said.
Focus on their draft, not the enemy.
Focus on their draft and their gameplay. If they could be a little bit more aggressive, if they could be a tiny little bit faster like they were once they defended their base, it looked like they had that game back in their control. But then a couple of mistakes here and there, they just need to be more focused. I know it sounds like such a generic thing to say, but the moment they got the game back, they fed a couple of kills, unnecessarily kills on the side lanes.
Yeah, and on top of that, have something that can kill Wraith Pact. A hero that can just get in there and kill Wraith Pact, that's like one of the biggest problems. They're playing with so much damage reduction on the side of Tundra. If you're able to deal with that and their map control and like how they do it, those are just the two biggest things, I think.
So who are those heroes? We look at Snapfire or?
Snapfire is a little difficult because she has to really like walk in there, but yeah.
We'll see what they do. Well, we're ready here, and I hope you are at home because we're going to go in.
Snapfire is a little difficult because she has to really like walk in there, but yeah.
We'll see what they do. Well, we're ready here, and I hope you are at home because we're going to go into Game 3 of the Grand Finals of the International.
Team.Secret versus Tundra.Esports. Grand Finals Game 3.
Team.Secret's turn to ban. Thank you very much, James. And yes, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're just about ready to get this Game 3 underway. So